And to continue to get reaction from the President on the country's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. SA Chamber of Commerce and Industry President, Advocate Mtho Xulu, joins me now. Advocate, good to have you with us. The President talking about many interventions there, 400 million to the Humanitarian Relief Fund, tax exemptions for a period of 3 months for those with under $1 million, revenue of below 100 million. I mean, how much is this going to help? I mean, there are many more interventions here, but let's just tackle those for a start. And the fact that Sasria will help businesses rebuild, is it enough?
Good evening, Jane. As the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, we do welcome tonight's address. We believe it was very balanced and understood and took into consideration the concerns of the business community. And we appreciate that the President, not only did he adjust the levels, but also made an effort to go into some of the interventions that were put in place a year ago. It can never be enough, obviously, but I think we really appreciate the hard work that the government is putting in to try and assist, businesses that are impacted by the lockdowns. I think, firstly, the humanitarian contribution, the business community has always committed that they'll also make a contribution, so we appreciate that. Tax relief for businesses under 100 million rand is also appreciated because it goes into supporting smaller businesses that were affected more than bigger businesses by the lockdowns. But lastly, also the intervention in rebuilding and supporting Sasria also helped with the recent destruction of small businesses. So we appreciate the work and we remain committed to partnering with government, hopefully to some extent with our own resources to help rebuild the economy.
I mean, the problem for small businesses is time. Many of them just don't have it.
Yes, we do not have the time, and we really hope that, as the President said, some of these matters still need to be ironed out and details will come out in the next couple of weeks. We hope that it will be next couple of days because there is no time indeed for small businesses, to wait for time and long times on end. But we are in a difficult situation now. We appreciate the difficulties that the NCCC are facing, especially with the economic challenges. We are in a peculiar situation as South Africans that we have a big problem. So smaller businesses, I hope, should be encouraged by the intervention, but it should not be delayed because the longer we stay and wait for the modalities, the more smaller businesses day by day are suffering under these tough COVID-19 economic conditions.
And many numbers have been bandied about, but we still don't know the true extent of the damage, do we? The financial impact of this.
Yes, and I think they will continue to rise. I mean, as much as government says that their work in the security response will continue for the next couple of weeks. I think in those same weeks, you'll see more and more numbers rising because the 50 billion, that is the initial calculation, will still have to drill into what else or what other parts of the economy were affected. And you might know that one business in the country has a lot of value chains and a lot of supply chains linked to it. So even if one business was affected, one mall was affected, but down the transaction line, you may find that other businesses will not be able to support that business. And that amount of money is actually the impact that this destruction that we've experienced in the past will be the full damage on the economy.
I mean, good that he's obviously tackling those who don't have any money, those who've lost their businesses. So the focus on South Africa, getting it back on its feet. But what's the message to international business and investors? I mean, this has added to their fear already. We've got an expensive workforce, not sure what's going to happen from a safety point of view. They might lose their business.
Yes, there's no way of sugarcoating, the devastation that the violence has had on business confidence, both domestically and internationally. We still have our international colleagues who still remain committed to the South African economy, but obviously the violence, the way it came about and the delays in clamping it down has sent fears and shocks around the world. But with the engagement that we've had with the President in the past week, we have, as a business community, committed ourselves to say we'll be able to talk to our counterparts to reassure them that indeed the market in South Africa is still a place to be. But it will be a partnership that has to be measurable and it will have to be very quick on our feet on how we are able to restore the confidence. Because already we had a better investment image, and actually post COVID-19, a lot of countries are fighting for the same investment. And this violence has been an own goal on our part, but we need to rebuild. And the South African business community has committed to the state and committed to our partners internationally that we care about this economy.
Can I just sort of jump in quickly, and if you could answer this briefly, please, because we are running out of time. I mean, we don't want to lose our gateway status, but if we stick to travel, interprovincial travel, it's allowed now, especially opening up Gauteng. That should make quite a difference.
Yes, we're still facing international limitations on tourism coming from around the world, but the opening up of borders and allowing domestic travel is going to assist us. I think we must also take advantage of the fact that we've always been trying to promote local and domestic tourism with the ability to travel within the COVID-19 regulations. We should obviously see some recovery and some support for the leisure and tourism industry.
Good to talk to you. Mtho Xulu, thank you.